Hey there, DeLoreans, it's Jesse McFly, and as you can see by the title of this video, which is also why you clicked on this video, I hate A Lull in the Sea. I hate it so much so that I made a presentation on why I hated it, and to top it off, I decided to present it live on TikTok. For those of you who happen to miss it, here is my full presentation on why I hate The Lull in the Sea. Enjoy! Oh! Boom! This is my presentation. Are you ready? Why am I excited? My presentation. I hate A Lull in the Sea. And you're probably going to wonder, why? Why do you hate A Lull in the Sea so much that you want to make a presentation on it? That you wrote on about 53 slides. And maybe those of you who have watched it are probably like, it wasn't even that bad for 53 slides. And then the rest of you are probably like, well, I haven't even watched A Lull in the Sea. So I got to know why somebody would spend 53 slides on a presentation on why they don't like this anime. Why don't we just get straight into it so I can tell you why? You see, I got beef with romance anime. Romance anime is so hit or miss, you just never know what you're gonna get. It could be the best romance anime you've ever seen, or it could be the absolute worst and you wish you didn't spend a couple days of your life watching dumbass characters. Romance anime is just too much roll of the dice. And I did not have the best first experience with romance anime. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of things in romance tropes that I'm not really fond of. We got the love triangle, the love polygon, which is worse than a love triangle, the second choice character that's not even really a second choice. They're just kind of there. They're not even considered one. That drives me up the wall. You got the miscommunication trope that I don't know one person that loves the miscommunication trope. It's a hard time for all of us. Unnecessary fan service. Oh, grooming. Incest, because that's kind of a staple thing with anime. Abuse. Stalking. The yandere, male and female, and any of the above. Poorly written characters, because that also drives me nuts. There's no substance. Dumb main characters, because yes, there are a bunch of dumb main characters in romance anime, and that leads to miscommunication, unnecessary fan service, and the second choice character that's not actually the second choice. And then you have the will they, won't they. See, this is why I say that romance animes and their roll of the dice, you never know what you're going to get, because you could have just wasted hours of your life on a 12 episode anime that went nowhere. They don't even hold hands. And then you have the actual second choice character. Like, they're actually considered a choice by the main character. They're actually considered somebody in that love triangle that has a chance. And then they ended up not getting it. And honestly, they shouldn't have even been second choice characters. They really should have been the first choice. So they just deserve so much better. Or the romance anime is just bad. Or it's boring. And the first anime, like I said, that had romance in it, that I was introduced to, is the Toradora. Not the best present experience. Toradora introduced me to a lot of tropes in anime, and romance anime specifically, that I don't like. And I just said, especially the annoying trope with this tiny little thing right here, somehow beating his ass every time for no reason. A Lull in the Sea was my second try, my second chance at romance anime, my second chance of saying, you know what, Toradora wasn't the best experience, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give romance anime another try because there's so many out there. So certainly my second one would be a better experience. Well, I hate The Lull in the Sea. And I've mentioned this quite a few times. I'm not very fond of it because, again, it's introduced me to tropes that I don't like. Let's get into the story and the cast. These are the cast members. The main character, Hikari, Monica, Chisaki, and Kaname. Remember those names because these are the main characters of the story, and Hikari is the main character. Hikari here is in love with Monica. Deeply in love. They're all 14, by the way. And like many 14-year-olds, kids don't really know how to express love in a healthy and mature way. So he's an example of boys will be boys, where he's mean to her, like disrespectful and too rough with her. But it's all because he's in love with her. And here's the thing about little Miss Monica. She a little ditzy, okay? She a little cray-cray. Like, she is a little delusional. She a little delulu. She don't be knowing what's going on. She just be there. But, you know, he loves her, so. Because they are going to a land school. You see, all of these characters here are sea creatures. Well, they're sea people. They're people that can live underwater. And they have to go to school on land because they are literally the only kids in the sea world. So they're going on land. Of course, he's not happy about it. They're open to it somewhat. And she, of course, is just open to everything. But again, like I said, even though he's in love with her, she's a little delulu. She's a little ditzy. And she is a clumsy girl that just trips and falls into the, well, I wouldn't say arms, but it's mainly the net of Tsumugo. Introduce you to a newer character. He is a land boy. And well, they meet for the first time. Now, she could be blushing because she's embarrassed. But considering if you've watched the anime, this scene lingers quite a bit. There's something about it. So, it's kind of hinted that she may have a little crushy crush on Tsumugo. Is there a possibility? This is a will they, won't they situation. Now, of course, Hikari's the main character. And he has a crush on Monica. So, he's noticing what you giving googly eyes for. What you giving googly at a land creature? A land creature, and mind you, the rest of them were able to be accustomed to the land world pretty quickly, but not Hikari. Hikari is stubborn, and Hikari is not messing with anybody, not messing with any land people, regardless of how nice the land people are. He got beef with them. He didn't even meet them, and he especially has beef with him. This dude is so jealous of Tsumugo because he doesn't like the fact that Monica is, I wouldn't even say that she has a crush on him. It's more that she's infatuated with a land boy that fishes. That's basically it. He's a new person she's never met. That doesn't matter to Hikari. Hikari takes that to heart. And now, anytime there's a competition, he's trying to best Tsumugo. Anytime anything's going on, he got to prove that he's the macho man. And of course, he just ends up embarrassing himself in the process. But that's just Hikari. You see, Hikari is the equivalent of a young Eren Yeager. And if you haven't watched Lull of the Sea, but you've watched Attack on Titan, you should remember all too well that young Eren Yeager was embarrassing. He gave us so much secondhand embarrassment. They're both angry, they're both loud, they're both impulsive, and they just, I mean, you love them, but look, they even got the same eye color. The two of them are the most stubborn characters. Just, if you haven't seen Lull of the Sea, imagine young Eren being the main character of a romance anime. The thing about Tsumugo, though, he don't really care. He's a calm, laid-back dude. He's just here with the vibes. He doesn't really show, like, romantic interest in Monica. And he honestly doesn't care that Hikari is in his feelings. Sorry, there's a lot of Japanese names I have to keep up with. Anyways, next slide. So now we have started with our first love triangle. Okay? Monica is in the center. Hikari, Tsumugo. This is the first love triangle. This is the beginning of the love triangle. But here's the thing. This is Chikasi. And Chikasi has a crush on Hikari. He doesn't know about it, though. Just like Monica doesn't know that Hikari has a crush on her. So there's a new addition to the triangle. But guess what? We don't stop there. No, Kaname is in love with Chikasi. And she doesn't know that either. But the thing is, he already knows they're not going to happen. Why? Because he's fully aware that she has a crush on Hikari. So he knows she has no romantic attraction to him, despite her not knowing that he has a crush on her. Yeah, so now this love triangle has turned into a love pentagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now it's gotten even more complicated. 5 people. This is Hikari's older sister, Akari. She gave up becoming a sea person. So she was a sea person just like the rest. She gave up being a sea person because she fell in love with a land person. Classic Romeo and Juliet. Except it really wasn't that deep and they didn't have to commit suicide. Anyways, so she is now living on land because when a sea creature falls in love with the land creature and they stay on the land too long, they can no longer get back in the sea. So they're basically rejected by the sea people. He has a daughter and her name is Miuna. I think that's how you say it. That girl right here is his daughter, her stepdaughter. This little girl, this big mouth little girl here is her best friend, Sayu. She doesn't like Akari. Of course, her mom died and all of a sudden there's a new woman coming in and, Akari was respectful of that. She recognized that, it's going to take time for her. But of course, she wants to play some antics, try to play Home Alone on her stepmom by, vandalizing her shop, the two of them little badass little kids. Miuna has been introduced to Hikari. She's been introduced to him as his stepniece because he knows that Hikari is Akari's brother, her stepmom, which makes Hikari her step uncle. Are you staying with me now? They all make up. Hikari, got through to her and said, hey, you really shouldn't be doing stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? And now everything is cool. So they're somewhat of a less dysfunctional family on the land world. He's actually living with his sister too, kind of, when he's not in the sea. Okay. Let's fast forward later on because there's this water festival thing, this sea festival to like the goddess of the sea. But unfortunately, even though things were going well, disaster struck. And Monica, and then her dumb ass jumped in the water. And then Hikari's dumb ass jumped in after her. And then after that, it was Kaname. All of them jumped in that water to try to save Monica, except Chisaki. They fell into that water. The sea festival did not go as planned. And now they're frozen underwater. So the whole sea has, the whole sea has frozen. And now all those little kids that jumped in the water are stuck in the water, frozen with the rest of the sea people. All of them except Chisaki. Chisaki is by herself in terms of all the sea kids. She's the only sea kid that's left on land. Now, 5 years later, okay? Fast forwarding 5 years and pay close attention to this, okay? 5 years later, Chisaki and Sumugo get older, of course. She wasn't left in the sea. So they're about 19, 20 years old. I think around 19 or so. And of course, she feels horrible because her friends are left frozen underwater like 5 years and the entire sea is still frozen. And she's just grown by herself. And so luckily, she's been staying with his uncle. So the two of them have just grown up together. They're done with school. And, well, Sumugo has something to say to Chikasi. He's in love with her. He's in love with Chisaki. And Chisaki does not take that well because She knows that Monica may have a little thing for him, and for some reason, she feels like she needs to be loyal after 5 years. And on top of that, she still has conflicting feelings because she also still kind of crushes on Hikari. And she's just dealing with the guilt of her friends being underwater frozen and not being able to live life with her, and she's like left out. So she's pretty conflicted. But he says to her in his straightforward face, hey, I'm in love with you and I think I'm going off to college and you should come with me. She wants to deny it, but she's having trouble moving on. Now let's move on to the next two characters. Did you remember them? Miyuna and Sayu. They are now 14 because the 5 years have passed. So they're in school. Look at their cute little uniforms. Now, remember, Hikari was introduced to her as her what? As her step uncle. Okay? She fell in love with him. And she fell in love with him. How does that even make... He's stuck in the ice. He's stuck in the ice. So, how could you... Mind you, that's their siblings. That's her mom. This is her brother, which means that's her step uncle. How did you fall in love with your step uncle? And she's like deeply in love with him. How does that make sense, bro? How does that make sense? 5 years have passed and you've fallen in love with your step uncle? And check this. She's pretty popular around school. There are boys that have confessed their feelings to her and asked her out. Not that she had to say yes to them, but sis had options. Yet, you fell in love with your uncle. I don't care if it's not blood relation. He's her uncle. I just don't, I feel like, I mean, I know romance animes have, you know, this type of unrealisticness to it. I get it. I get that. But it's just like, when I was 14, well, I guess when I was their age, 10 or whatever, or 9, and I had crushes on celeb little boy bands and all that, my crushes on them never lasted 5 years. That's just unrealistic. She's so young. Kids get many crushes growing up. So you're telling me she held this crush and convinced herself that she fell in love with her uncle for 5 years while he's trapped in that ice? Don't piss me off. I don't like this. Her friend falls in love with him. Mind you, he is stuck under the water. He was older than her at some point. So I'm trying to figure out how she could have fell in love with him. They barely spoke. They was barely talking. How could you say that you, like, she dead ass with her full chest said, oh, I'm in love with him. That don't make sense. I don't understand why we're keeping the love triangle so, like, why are we keeping the love, whatever it is, so small? This the last time they saw each other. This is what they used to look like. You see how he's patting a child on the head? And she said, I'm in love with you. I don't care that you're stuck in an ice cube. I'm in love with you. I'll be in love with you for 5 years. Like, I need just a little sense of, like, that's just too absurd for me. I don't care if it's a romance anime, it's fantasy, it's fiction. I would believe the whole sea goddess, the whole sea freezing up for 5 years. I'll believe every single folktale in this anime. But you're trying to tell me that a 9-year-old kept a crush on a grown person for 5 years? It's not like it was a different grown person, because yeah, younger kids crush on older people, but like the same person for 5 years that they barely spoke, they was not even that close. That's crazy to me. You can't convince me. So now the love pentagon has turned into the wretched whatever the this is. Do you see how complicated this is? I couldn't read this to you. Why was this necessary? We shall move on. Oh, gosh. Okay. Guess what? Hikari woke up. He's the first to wake up and get out of that block of ice in the sea. And he's, well, flabbergasted that he's been stuck in that sea for years, 5 years to be exact. It takes him a long time to believe that. And he's a little traumatized because, yeah, he's the first one. He's now noticing that Chisaki is a grown woman and his friends are still stuck in the ice. But now, hold on. I know you see this picture right here and you're like, whoa, but listen. They go to school together because, he has to continue school. He has to pretend life is the same. He in his own head right here. He not even looking at her. He in his own head. She is trying so hard to be like, look at me. Look at me. Look at me, Hikari. Look at me. Like, she's trying so hard. Grabbing him, doing all this extra stuff. Like, crushing on him hard. He not even realizing it until she gets the gall. The audacity to confess her feelings. And then he's like, now wait a minute. Hold up. I'm your uncle. So I don't think we should do that. And I'm going to tell you right now is she took that shit pretty hard. He started to realize, this ain't right. I don't like it. And also, he's still in love with Monica. I think they try to make that the main reason, but he's like, well, we're kind of like related. It may not be like blood, but we're kind of related. She did not take that well. The other characters also awaken from the sea. And she also uses this as her chance to confess to him. But the thing is, his reaction was way different than Hikari's. Because Hikari's like, I don't think so, ma'am. Then again, the family thing is where the lies really blur. He's like, well, mine as well. My crush is a grown woman now, and I can't crush on her anymore. At least we're the same age. I'm not gonna lie, this is like one of the least problematic relationships on the show. Just because they have no blood relation. So, yes, I still think it's weird that she held a crush on somebody she barely spoke to for 5 years. Yes, out of any boy in that school that she could have been crushing on, yes. And it's also led me to another trope in anime, romance anime and anime in general, where I don't like when a character, it like feels like every character needs to have a love interest. And I think this is an example of them not really needing one. But basically it's hinted that the two of them get together at the end. So they're a thing now. So then we also have this god. He's like the god of the sea people. He has his own lore, but he's low-key hella weird because he's kind of perverted too, and I don't know why they felt the need to add that. Like, there's so many good anime and romance anime ruined by, like, unnecessary perversion by older men. Like, he's, like, hundreds of years old or whatever. And, like, he made a couple passes at Monica, and that shit's weird. He may have been joking about it, but it's like, that's weird, bro. Anyways, he's like restored the sea, but there's certain things that happen. They try to redo the festival. I should have mentioned, Monica's the one that has not come out from the water, but Kaname has. And the rest of the sea people are still stuck in that ice. So they say, hey man, if we do this festival again and do it right, can we like restore the sea people and save Monica? And he's like, I guess so. So that's why he's here. Again, he would have been more cooler if he wasn't like perverted. But then he gets serious towards the end, so I guess he's okay. I don't. Anyways, so now let me break this down. I couldn't find every single picture, but let me break this down. So Monica is still stuck in the water. She won't come back up because the frozen stuff. They finally do the festival. It starts storming like it was storming in the beginning before everybody else fell in the water previously. So, everybody diving in this water. Now, I'm just trying to figure out how all these kids diving in the water and there's no adult diving in the water after these kids. That's what I don't understand. Because I think also the land people, they can't even really help in the sea because the land people will drown, which I think that's crazy. So, it's like literally all sea people in there. But I'm just like, All those kids in that water, no grown adult, is crazy to me. So Monica's stuck in there, and then Hikari tries to dive in to find her, and then she decides, what's her name again? I'm trying to keep up with these names. Give me a second. Miuna decides I'm gonna jump in after Hikari because she still kind of have feelings for him, and then the fucking Samugo, his big grown ass that will drown whenever he touches the water, decides to jump in. Everybody's just jumping in the water with no plan, drowning, gotta be saved by somebody else that jumps in the water. Her mom was also a sea person apparently. And so she got this special ability or whatever about her that's similar to Monica's. They just do that shit in there. And Hikari was like, okay, I feel like I was insensitive about your feelings, even though he kind of really let her down. Like, I mean, she needed the absurdity. I'm your step uncle. But he feels sorry for her. So, he goes to save her. She a little unconscious and shit. Whatever. All right, moving on. They're happily ever after now, I guess. They all get out of the water. Monica is saved. Everybody is saved. And now, here's the thing. So they continue going to school. I mean, as they should, because they're like 15. They're adults now. Look at how there's the stance in this picture. The two of them being together is fine because they besties. Why is she so close to him still? Because towards the end, it kind of hints that Monica and Hikari may just have something going on. But she's so close to him, and the grown version of him too. Like, you can't even see where he ends and she begins. They're so squished together, and I don't understand this placement here. She's far away. Girl, that's your man. Why are you like, how many times you gonna let Monica steal your man? Is what I don't understand. Because she had a crush on him. Monica took him. Monica's not actually stealing people's men. I'm just saying for emphasis. But anyways, why is she so close to him? She far away. I don't know why she in the middle. She should be on the side. He really should be in the middle because he's the main character. It's just a lot going on. I don't know who drew this. And this is like official. I don't know. But I guess happily ever after. That's the end. That's literally it. And I also just want to say, especially those of you who have not followed me on TikTok and all that stuff, like, there are romance animes that I do like. Fruits Baskets and Horimiya are just one of them. Like, there's some of them. There are romances that I do like. Love of the Sea, unfortunately, just not one of them. But that is the end of my presentation. This is why I hate the Lull of the Sea. I don't like the love polygonal shape. I don't like some of the characters being all ditzy. And I especially don't like the fact that Miyano had a crush on her step uncle. I don't care if y'all try to say, oh, it's just part of the culture. No. The incest and the implied incest in anime has to go. We shouldn't have to jump through hoops. And I especially hate when the characters acknowledge, okay, technically when we are related, but we're not blood, so it's not bad. The fact that the characters themselves have to try to find a rationale is ridiculous. You see, this let me go back. Because now y'all talking about, and I could just expand on certain things more. There are other characters in this show. So there is no reason for this atrocity. There's no reason for it. Like, this was like somewhat okay, somewhat. But it was still weird. I'm thinking I'm going to do Scum's Wish, another presentation on that, because Scum's Wish had me heated, bro. I don't know why you thumbs up. This thumbs down. Anyways, and Boys Over... Okay, y'all, if y'all give me one that you know is going to piss me off, I will also do a presentation on that. Let me write it down, too. I draw the line at Domestic Girlfriend, though. Y'all have Scum's Wish, because Scum's Wish gets me heated. Sing Yesterday for me. That had me heated. Oh, gosh. Y'all gonna make me watch Domestic Girlfriend? That must be... Dude, Sing Yesterday for me, bro? Oh, my gosh. I'm about to do another presentation. This is gonna be my thing. Thank you all for watching my video. I appreciate it. I also am on Twitch and I'm on Discord. So please follow me and subscribe for more of this Jessie McFly content. And join the DeLoreans. Why wouldn't you?